look good in that silver and black. Talk about the game, so I'll be handing out cards and everything. I'll be at every Raider game. So.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Raider Nation. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. It is Tuesday, September 24th. And as you all should know, we got a special guest. We got a special guest. I'm not taking time from a monologue. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm obviously going to, keep the ritual, when it comes to, the things that we like to do at the Ultimate Raider Fan Show. We like to get the crowd, give them a chance to get in. Turf started a little late. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Peggy Holmes is in the building.
Hello, everybody. And
how you doing?
Just fine. And how are y'all feeling? Raider Nation, Mr. Crump, take a deep breath. Please just breathe. Yeah. Relax. Try to. I heard you were in Vegas this weekend. Were you not?
I was in Vegas. And, what an interesting time. That's why I said no monologue, no nothing. We got to jump right into this, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't wait to hear what you have to say. I've seen a few things. I've heard a few things. But, with so much to discuss from the front office to leadership to coaching to players to the locker room to the offensive, we can just go down the list.
And we can. And I just want Raider Nation to breathe. We got 14 more games to go.
Yes.
There are already some indicators that some things just ain't going to get better. And there's good news, and there's bad news. And I just wanted to start right at the top. You did hear that they did decide to stick with Minshew as a starter against the Browns.
I did.
What you feeling about that?
I think it's the right call. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, and better than most
right
that I'm an AOC fan. I've been an AOC fan. I wanted him to win the job. It didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen, for whatever reason. I could see a lot of reasons for him not winning the job. I could see some reasons for him winning the job. End of the day, he didn't win it. It's not a good move to start switching game 2.
Not really.
Look at
Minshew's way too early.
It's way too early.
You want to talk about end of October? We're still getting the kind of performances, and we know already he's starting out with a handicap. We don't put bricks on that horse, okay?
Absolutely.
So we already know the horse is going to have a tough time finishing the race. But let's look at it this way. Let's see what goes on in October. Patience is something that Raider Nation has just got to have. And all you people talk about, but I want to win, but why I want to win? Well, I wanted things at Christmas that I didn't get under the tree. Okay? Some things are not going to be under the Christmas tree. This is a process. And Mr. Crump, you know about processes. These are things I see among Raider Nation a failure to understand.
Right.
McDaniels burned the offense to the ground.
He absolutely did.
He did not leave ashes. He spread salt so nothing could grow.
Yep. I agree.
He destroyed not only the confidence of the players, but he destroyed their ability to imagine and think and their desire and their motivation. And he cut the heart out of our offense when he sent his franchise quarterback away. Now, many people will say, I don't miss him. Let me tell you, the Raiders do. It's all about how you do it. But now, let's look at what we got.
Right.
This is why I say patience. That man burned our offense to the ground. Look at the way that Devontae plays.
Right.
I tell you, he plays like he's scared. That man came in here as an all-pro, all-world wide receiver. They got him running 10-yard routes, dropping the ball when nobody's saying, getting help. The thing that McDaniels ripped from us was respect from the other teams in the league. They don't respect us anymore.
At all.
They come in and punk us. They come in with 5- and 6-man lines and say, I know you can't run the football. Your O-line is garbage. You'll just put pressure on your quarterback all day because we know the only thing you can do is throw.
You are 100% correct.
When you rip the heart out of your offense, you take away a guy whose arm people respected, whose ability to read defenses people respected, the leadership, the confidence that exuded from him that spread to everybody on the team, all that's gone.
Yep.
You got to start all over again. When I say from the ground up, I mean from the ground up. And Mr. Crump, you can go on, the ground starts with the O-line. No offense can function without an O-line.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Tell me what you see.
I see exactly what you just said. I mean, a lot of people, like the flash, the glitz, and the glamour, right? That's the purpose for all the rule changes from way back when to today. And unfortunately, we're just seeing, you know what I mean, just an inconsistency. Bottom line, I think Getsy has to go. I think Getsy has to go. I mean, he's had his chance several places, and they haven't panned out. Like you say, it starts at the ground, in the trenches. I believe he is part of the problem. I believe he's coaching from the top down. I have to believe that, right? Until we hear anything different. And this is something I can't wait to discuss with you, because there's a lot going on that I'm not too sure we really know what is what in that front office.
Well, we do know one thing. You can't teach a donkey, a mule, how to be a thoroughbred racer. And I'm not saying that our O-line is mule, but when you come in with an O-line that's already lost their leader, already lost their confidence, and then you say, by the way, we're teaching you a whole new blocking scheme. Not only that, then you got to break the news to your running backs because they're all part of that.
Right.
Okay. Zone blocking is a two-headed monster. Not the cutback lanes that they produce by blocking down in certain zones, you got to read and recognize, and you don't have a lot of time to do it, okay? Before the backside closes up. So now you say, okay, we want you to zone block now. Now, already last year, they've been getting blown up, blasted. I could go one by one. People think Miller's hurt. Let me give you the bad news. Miller was playing bad before he was hurt.
Terrible.
And I think it was a failure. Something was going on in his upper body. He no longer wanted to use his upper body. I think the shoulder was starting to hurt at the beginning of last year. It didn't get impossible to play with until mid last year.
Right.
You look at Colton Miller on film, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen a left tackle try to block with his hands. not his arms. He gets no leverage whatsoever.
None.
And some people talk about his footwork. What footwork?
There is no footwork.
He's too busy backpedaling so he can get his arms in front of him. If you watch, did you see number 41, a linebacker for Carolina, driving him into Minshew? Minshew's like, hold up, wait a minute. He's standing back in their pocket, and all of a sudden, here's Colton standing next to him with his arms out.
Right.
Getting driven back. That happened 3 times on Sunday. You want to talk about a line that's really lost their identity and confidence. I'm not even going to talk about the talent level. Dante Parham, bless his heart.
Right.
All 283 pounds of him. That's the problem with Dante Parham. He will get blown up every play at guard. Now, maybe at center, might have a fighting chance. Get a little leverage when you're in the middle there. But the problem is Dante's way too small. James, I have no idea. Can someone tell me whose bright idea was it to sign him to a 3-year contract?
Man, if you really want to get me started,
I missed the memo. What happened?
he's the biggest problem, in my opinion. It starts there.
What is the job of a center? Can you please tell people what the job of a center is on the O-line?
He's the general. He calls the protections. He calls, pickups. He tells people where to go, what to do. I mean, he's the one that runs everything on that offensive line.
If you watch the Raiders lining up, going down, what do you see all the good centers do? First of all, they're the last one to go down in their stance.
Absolutely.
Why? Because they're looking over the defense and then figuring out what the alignments are and what signals to call. Problem is, Derek used to do that for him. Okay?
It was taken out of the hands of James.
Right. And now James is sitting there, but the first thing you have to do, Mr. Center, you can't be the first one down and keep your head down. You have to be the last one down. Watch the film. He never stands up to look around before he goes back into his stance. Okay? Check me out if I'm not wrong. Then we go to poor little Mr. Whitehair.
Oh, geez.
Where did they find him? I'm just so flabbergasted.
It's a Gatsy guy. Guy.
He must be a ZBS guy. Okay.
Yes.
I just can't understand. Every time the ball snaps, the only thing you see in the Raider middle is just a wall of flesh. And poor little Zamir, what does he see? He a power downhill runner, power blocker, trained to follow his block. And I'm like, no, you can't follow the wall of flesh. They will never get you past the line of scrimmage because there's no push.
None. Zero push.
And then we go to Mumford, who I understand is now hurt. He actually was playing better than anybody.
Right. Yeah, Mumford he's a favorite of Rundown. He loves Mumford. He had a bad game. When was it? That last game? I mean, it was one of the games. He had
a Charger game. Oh my God.
A bad game.
But you see, that's what I'm talking about. Confidence.
Right.
And knowing every time you go up to the line of scrimmage, the other side doesn't respect you. They have no fear. Even though Minshew went deep at least 3-4 times, the Panthers D-line was not impressed. Neither were the Chargers, by the way.
No,
and neither were the Ravens. No one is impressed by our deep passing game. Okay? Nope. They're not scared. They're still going to stay in their 5- and 6-man fronts. They found a way to beat us. The way you beat the Raiders, you stay in those 5- and 6-man fronts. You shut down the run. That ain't going to be too hard with the wall of flesh. That isn't going to be too hard. And then you sit back in the throwing lane. Just wait for him. Make a
No,
mistake.
you're absolutely right. You know, before we move any further, I have to do this particular segment, right? Because
Go ahead.
without our chat, right? Without our people that support us, watch and
Please.
pay attention, right? We don't have anything.
Hello,
First and
everybody.
foremost, my main man, Raider Transplant Angelo is in the building. Salute Turf and Miss Peggy. Gonna be a fire show. Great to see you at the game, Turf. Those were amazing seats. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Miss Peggy giving the crowd a shout out. Greetings, everybody. Absolutely. My main man is in the building. Steve Jones. What's up, fam? Yeah, that's my guy right there. Appreciate you for showing up. Hope you enjoy this show. It is TRS affiliate in the building. Honorable Myra G. Say it with your chest, Miss Peggy.
Hi, Myra.
Right? Thank you for showing up. We hope you enjoy this show. Gunsmoke is in the building. Salute. Salute. Appreciate you for showing up. It must be one of these crazy days again on YouTube. It's not working like it's supposed to, I think. But hey, we got people in here. That's all that matters. My man, Mary Rebel in the building. Salute Turf and Miss Peggy.
And believe me, I'm learning from what you guys have to contribute. So come on with those opinions, because we don't need to just hear our echo. We need to hear what that echo means. We need to hear what you got to contribute, because I tell you, if I see another time when James comes up to that line, goes down in his stance, and stays down there, I mean, he's going to
We got problems.
We have so many problems. But now let's go to the real problem on the offense, which many people, you talked about it early. I believe that Pierce should have held out for a smart, successful, and experienced OC. If you will pull up what I was saying when Getsy was picked, right away I knew we had a problem.
Wow.
Here's a guy that's only been an OC 2 years. That's it. And the 2 years were in Chicago, another clueless franchise, we shall not name. But he had Justin Fields. Now, in my book, I'm very unrelenting about coaches. I judge you by whether people get better. I don't care whether it's just a little bit better, but do you get better year for year, game to game? That's how I judge whether my coaches are knowing what the hell they're doing. Yeah. And I'm telling you,
I agree with that.
The passing game in Chicago regressed from 26th in 2022 to 30th in 2023. I'm like, oh my God, how did they get worse? Okay. If you can't pass the ball, you can't just use your quarterback. Now, you'll be pleased to know, clap, 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 under Getsy, they were in 2022, they were number 1 rushing. In 2023, they were number 2 rushing.
Right.
Except that 46% of the rushing was the quarterback. Okay?
I didn't know that part.
I mean,
I knew they had a good running game, but I didn't know a lot of it.
Pierce has made, and the Raiders have made a serious error. When I said that McDaniels burned the offense to the ground, I mean, there was no offense. We didn't even have a starting quarterback when Getsy was hired in February. That was a serious mistake. You needed somebody who knew what they were doing. We weren't talking about a job, Mr. Crump, where they were just tinkering here and there, maybe change it. This was a complete rebuild from the ground up. You need a smart guy. You need a guy that knows personnel, that's hooked into networks, free agent, college networks. You needed to bring in brand new personnel on that O-line.
Yep.
But being Getsy, with only 2 years experience.
Yeah, so I got a question for you. Do you think this honestly was AP's choice as far as Getsy? Was it a collective effort? Was it the front office? Was it right? Who do you really think made that choice?
I don't know who made the choice, but I do know this. That was Pierce's first executive decision. Who was going to be? Yes, who was going to be his offensive coordinator?
Really?
That's where he should have stood up for himself. Don't bring me no 2-year guy with nothing. All right, you didn't want clean. This was his first true executive decision as a head coach. Who is my offensive coordinator going to be? It is not going to be a guy with 2 years experience.
So this is why I asked the question.
Failure.
Right, because I'm actually I'm becoming a conspiracy theorist for some odd
I
reason.
love it.
Because and I gotta give credit and props. I don't know who it was. TRS, if anybody's in the building, correct me, let me know. I don't know which one said it, but there's this running joke with AP, right? He's got this alter ego, right? He's either Antonio Pierce from Compton, where you see what you see, you get what you get. He out there running his mouth. He don't care. Everybody gonna be tough, play hard, right? That rah-rah, that hood mentality, if you will, right? Or is he gonna be Anthony from Southern California, the CEO guy that is gonna be more politically correct, right? Not stick his players out, go more the Jim Harbaugh routes, right? All those, the CEO types. And not the people that is going to stick out his team or people on the team.
And I hear you, and we want him to be Anthony, but Anthony's first executive decision was who was going to be his OC, and he should have fought everybody in that organization, Mark and Telesco, until he got a guy that could do the job that needed to be done. And if he didn't know what the job that needed to be done with that offense is, God help him.
He picked. Well, see, this is why I have I have to figure out if the man is being manipulated or flat out just not the one that's making true calls. Because we know he wanted Kingsbury first. That was the first choice, number one choice. And obviously we got stood up at the altar. He went on about his business, and we were mad about that. I mean, after that, and at that point in time, really, what was left? And I agree with you. We could have got some fresh blood somewhere. A new.
The enemy was out there.
The enemy was out there. I agree with that. We were
pulling Joe Philbin, and the enemy, of course, he knows the AFC West. What?
No, you're absolutely right. Now
somebody whispered in Pierce's ear because they blackballed the enemy. Don't talk. Don't give him an interview. You see, when you're a head coach, there are decisions you have to make all on your own. That determines whether you're going to be a successful head coach. And I have to say that Pierce failed his first great test. Do not let people set you up for failure.
Right.
Don't let them do you in. And what did him in was that he didn't work hard enough to get the offensive coordinator he needed.
I agree. It's speaking volumes now.
It's tremendous. Now he realizes even if you have the number one defense, let's go to Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay. With the number one defense, but they fired him anyway. Why? He couldn't find a quarterback or an offense.
Nope.
And Gruden comes in behind him and wins with his boys.
You have
to understand, you can be the world's best defensive coordinator, and Dick Fangio found that out, and a whole lot of guys who converted. You have to have an offense, or you have to put your offense in the hands of a guy you trust, a guy that is up to the job, smart, and Pierce didn't demand it, and now he's paying the price.
You know what? So this is kind of part. So this is the problem we have, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people said this was a bad choice.
Very
Right?
bad choice.
I mean AP. AP was a bad choice, right? A lot
Well,
of people wanted Harbaugh. A lot of people.
But see, Mr. Crump, that's why this decision was so important for him to get right, because it's going to reflect on him.
Yes.
That's why he should have demanded someone who could rebuild his offense, somebody with some resume, somebody with some success. If he had to go to college to find them, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You needed a guy that you could trust and put that, and somebody with more than 2 years experience. Lord have mercy.
Right. No, I agree. So check this out. This is something that I've been constantly playing, right? I'm gonna show this. I probably showed it already before. I want you to see this. This is another reason why I'm becoming more of a conspiracy theorist.
Go ahead.
When it comes to this stuff, right? Because I believe AP, may have. Let me see here. Can you see? Yeah, I believe AP here may have, wanted to go for it against the Chargers on the 4th and 1 on their 40, right? And he got vetoed. By who? I have no idea. I mean, right, computers, right, you can doctor up a lot of stuff. This video to me doesn't look doctored at all. I want your opinion. I want you to tell me if you think, this has me thinking one way or another, right? But let's check.
But you see, that's already taking responsibility out of Pierce's hands.
And I don't like that either. That's why. That's exactly.
No, he ain't getting off that easy. And by the way, I am not one of the people that wanted him, but now he's here. Listen, they give guys with less experience and left creds than him a chance to coach NFL teams. Why not Pierce?
Right. Check this out.
Pierce has got to be smart.
Right. Check this out.
Dennis left. 4th and 1. We punt the ball. Everybody's mad at AP for making this decision, but I'm thinking this is proof that he's not making these decisions, y'all.
No.
Keep it out.
Chargers territory.
No. A black man can't make decisions on his own. He has to be a puppet. He has to be somebody's puppet. What are you saying?
It's the NFL.
He's not smart. He's not smart enough to make decisions on his own.
Well,
I don't understand what's being said.
Well,
he can be easily manipulated.
Well, no. What's being said is that he's not the one that's calling the shots. We all know when Al was here, it didn't matter. Right, it didn't matter who was running what. If Al picked up that phone and told you to do something, you was doing it. It didn't matter what he was running.
Al is dead, sticking and buried.
No, I understand that, but all I'm trying to say is
I don't know an Al personality who could
in our front office, right? But that's what I'm saying. Is it one of the older? Is it one of the elders? Right? Is it Philbin? Is it?
Have to think about this a little bit.
That's why I'm trying to say.
I that you're not right.
Me and you both.
Pierce is his own man. But
exactly.
He doesn't have head coaching experience. He's a brand new guy. And this is what you see when you see somebody with the training wheels on. They're going to look schizophrenic.
Right.
Because they've never, ever done this before.
Right.
And I believe he's going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But hey, you asked for the job. People were threatening people.
Right.
People were talking about, I'm not playing for this team no more if he's a coach. All right, you got him. But I knew he was a mistake because of his lack of experience. Wow. And I knew Pepsi was a mistake. We don't need training wheels. We need people that know what they're doing.
Peggy is coming for him.
And but Pierce, I'm standing behind you, but you let them sabotage you by giving you that little person from Chicago that absolutely, and now you see the result. The first thing he wants to do is impose a system on our already beat up
Depleted offense.
Why are you imposing a new system? Why not? Let's do what y'all been doing since y'all familiar with it, and let's see how we can get you better at it. But of course, Getsy being an OC for only 2 years, what's he thinking? Y'all gonna do it my way, because that's the only way I know. I don't know how to coach nothing else. That's what happens when you get in a guy with 2 years. He don't know no other way to do it.
He don't.
That's why you get the play calling you get. I'm thinking to myself, why, when you know the middle three of your O-line is getting blown up and nuked every play, would you call a quarterback sneak on 4th?
Right. Yes. Oh my God. That was so bad. That was so bad.
Well, because he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have the breadth of experience of actual games and decisions and seeing different situations. You run away from your problem child.
Yeah.
You run to the outside. Everything has to go to the outside. But I think the problem is, he don't know how to do it.
He don't.
He doesn't know how to design plays that'll roll Minshew out from the pressure. Because I told you, they coming with 5-6 man fronts. They done passed a memo around the NFL. Oh, you playing the Raiders? This is what you need to do.
Yep. I agree.
They ain't gonna run the football on you because they got garbage on the O-line. You don't have to worry about the running game. So let's just tee off on them. So you roll your guy away from the pressure. You see, if you had an experienced OC, he would know what to do. Mr. Crump, did you see in the first game? This is how pathetic Getsy is. You see them little high school screens?
I'm so sick of these.
They almost look like lateral, and even the commentator said, Why is the screen starting 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage?
It's so bad.
I'm like, I'm just as mystified as you. Who throws a lateral pass halfway across their body and the field to start a screen? When you know your linemen can hardly block, much less pull. Oh my God! And then he had the guards pulling. I was just like, you're just testing them. And of course, they blew up all the screens because they all started too deep.
Yes. They weren't getting positive yards without having 3 people on them before it even got to start.
Because it was too deep. The defense had a chance to come up.
Yes.
And these are the little things you get when you have an OC that doesn't know what he's doing. There's just so many things. And of course, he's going to be clueless about how to fix that line. And of course, guys, I called out our
James Gregg.
Right. I had to call him out.
Damn.
I'm like, if y'all starting to call for heads.
Right.
Call for the right head.
And I like that guy for a lot of reasons personally.
I know.
Our paths and how they've crossed and how his lineage, his coaching tree. He comes from Sonny Rubik. I mean, like, this guy shouldn't be this bad, and that's the thing. I honestly didn't do my homework. I didn't do my homework on James Gregg as far as, really digging deep to see what type of offensive lines he's run and how he's going to mess with Getsy. Because, see, that could be the problem in itself. They got this guy And that's not his mentality, his philosophy, or what he wants to run on an offensive line.
Exactly.
And that's the clashing.
And not only that, when you're a guy that only has run one system, ZBS, right? And not even ZBS, it's Shanahan ZBS.
Right. It's not, yeah. It's not just
You're used to having the personnel with the quickness.
Right, the lineman. Yes. Yes.
And the speed to run that. Now
Yes.
you get here to a team where they got nothing but slugs and a wall of flesh. And you trying to make them do what they did up in San Francisco. How is that possible?
Can't.
This is what I'm talking about by how you can tell how good a coach is.
Right. Right.
Do you make whatever's good in your players better? Or do you keep on insisting you're going to do it my way? You're going to keep doing it my way. We don't care how bad you look. That's what that fourth down quarterback sneak was about.
Right.
You will create space. But of course they didn't. Because they can't.
No, they can't. You're absolutely right. They can't. It's almost laughable, and you're starting to feel a little sorry for us. Like,
well, I'm sorry for the players because, again, you don't know how you can rip a player's heart out when he's constantly doing something every week that he sucks at. I mean, seriously, that's what you're asking on the offensive line.
right.
And poor Zamir, I mean, oh my God, a bulldog.
He looks so bad right now, and I really honestly see nobody looks at running backs like they need confidence, like they need builders, like they don't. You know what I mean? Like they don't get better, right? As they get going, and he's never had a chance to get going,
Never
at all,
and,
all.
Well, last year, towards the end of last year, what were the Raiders O-line doing? Power blocking.
Yes, and it worked.
And it worked. Then you got this guy who comes in and basically does to them what McDaniels
did. No, you're absolutely right. I didn't even think about this. I didn't look at it from that perspective.
You don't know how the heart is ripped out of a player when every week he's doing something he cannot do.
He's not good at it.
Then
No, you're right.
You hear the criticism. You hear the coaches screaming in your ear. You see the disappointment of the running back. You see the disappointment of the wide receivers because they can't even run their route halfway for the quarterback to sack. Oh, let me turn around and see if Minshew is still standing up. You know,
Right.
Should I even expect this ball? You know, I think that we need to. This is why I counsel patience. They don't need to hear us screaming at them too. They know they're playing bad. Believe me, they know they're doing things. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
They know.
Right.
Zamir knows that he's not supposed to follow his blocks in ZBS, but that's what kind of guy he is.
You're absolutely right. There's nothing he can do. It's ingrained in him. That's it. He was brought in from
his box.
Exactly. That's just the way he runs. It's the way he's taught. He doesn't have all that shake, wiggle. He's not that type of running back. And you would think that Getsy would do things right, because this is the other problem I have. I mean, you said it. He's had a great rushing game in Chicago, but the caveat to that, a lot of it came from the quarterback. Again, that's a stat I didn't pay attention to.
Of course. Thank God. I mean, since he couldn't throw, right? I mean, 30th in passing, really? How do you do that?
Yeah.
But again, we have to look at the situation we're in. Pierce allowed an inexperienced OC to be selected for him. Said inexperienced OC then brings in CBS.
Yeah, something that doesn't fit.
Not with the talent. You have to have specific guys for that. You don't have the guys, and you definitely don't have the running back for it.
No, not at all.
And that's why you can't run the football. And until the mentality changes and they go back to what they were doing last year,
right?
Which I can't see how we're ever having. We don't have ZBS running backs. Madison, maybe Madison, but I haven't. Again, with Getsy's limited imagination. I mean, he's not even mixing and matching personnel, trying to see what works.
No.
Maybe let me get his ball to Madison more.
Right.
Maybe he can do ZBS. Let me see if Power Johnson or Glaze can step in. I don't see none of that. Why is that, Mr. Crow?
I don't know. I think it's actually what you've been saying and stated the whole time. It's the inexperience. It's the deer in headlights. It's just we're blindsided. We're outcoached in every way, shape, or form. I'm just really having a hard time with this star-studded front office and all these advisors that are allowing him to make these type of terrible mistakes. Like, that's why they are there. That's why they're there. Like, that's why, I mean.
But it's going to be hard at game 3 to tell Getsy, you suck. In the team, weekly team meeting, you suck. What you're doing is all wrong. See, those guys are in a fraternity.
Right.
And they got to think in the back of their mind saying, I might need this guy 10 years from now, so I'm not going to antagonize him. I might need a job. Right? I might need a job about 5 years from now. No sense antagonizing him and telling the emperor that he's naked. Don't tell him the truth.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
About my career and my connections, and not only if I piss him off, I might piss his friends off, and I may not get a job for their team either.
Right.
That's how the good old boy coaching network works, right? It's who you know.
No, absolutely. And so, have you noticed that they've cut out some of the things that AP has stated and said out loud, and you can't find those sound bites anymore? Kind of like when he basically said, hey, this ain't Zeus's issue. This is the offensive line. This is the big boys up front. Can't find that no more. Again, this is why I have a problem right now. I don't know if this man he's flip-flopping back and forth. That's not AP.
But maybe this is a guy that's confronted the reality of what it means to be an NFL coach. It's an enormous job. It is the job of a CEO. Everything from we ain't got enough jock straps.
Right. Yeah, you're dealing with it all.
To Devontae, why the hell are you dropping 2 to 3 balls every game? Why have you not run a route more than 20 yards? And OC, I want, this change. I want you to see Meyer. I want you to see Turner.
He should be calling this out. He should be saying, why aren't you getting these guys?
But again, he can't run all. He's the CEO.
He is.
He can't call the plays. He's not an offensive guy. You don't know jack shit about offense.
Right. You're absolutely right.
That's why his choice of OC was critical to whether he was going to be successful.
I agree.
And for him not to know that, to fight for that, I don't understand. He failed his first test as a head coach. You have to do what's going to make you successful. And whoever's feelings get hurt, they just get hurt.
No, you're right. You are right. And that's why
my job.
This is where, for the sake of the fans, for the sake of his own career, this is where, in my opinion, he needs to just come out and admit what's going on and not allow these constant conspiracy theories. Because the other part that I think he's going to run into with this back and forth and calling players out is you're only going to do that so many times before you start having players turn on you, and now the locker room is going to start to be divided. You know.
But hey, he took the job.
No, you're right. That's exactly right.
You're a man. You're gonna take your medicine. You knew when you took this job, if you didn't know how enormous a responsibility you were taking on, all the personalities,
right,
and all the things, and if you didn't know that they were going to blame you for everything.
There's
not enough Gatorade. There's not enough blue Gatorade on the table.
All right.
Whose fault is that? The coach. I mean, you're going to get blamed for everything, even though you know who effed up.
Yep.
And decisions that are made, game plans. Oh my God, game plan and game prep. How do you not know that the Carolina Panthers actually have one of the league's best linebacking corps? They're so good, they actually substitute for D linemen. Now, if you watch film, you can know this. And that when they took Bryce out and put Andy Dalton in, it's because they had already been grooming that switch since probably preseason.
Yep.
Okay? The players played for Andy Dalton like he had been throwing to him for years. It was seamless. That let me know that the Panthers already had made up their mind that they were going to sit down Bryce Young. That too should have been anticipated
by
the defensive game plan. Now, let me tell you another thing Pierce needs to understand. Players who want to tell you what they're doing. Max Crosby, I'm hurt, but you better let me play.
Right.
What the hell? Did he help us out there on Sunday?
Nope. Not at all. Not really. Probably hurt us more than helped us.
How in the world, as a head coach, do you let your best defensive lineman play on a bad wheel, risking further injury and possibly losing him for the season? How do you let that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we got a question for you from my guy, Tony Shepard. Tony Shep in the building. Appreciate it. Hindsight. Who were a couple of other candidates Peggy would have been interested in OC?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. New Orleans got Kubiak, and Kubiak was out there at the time we hired Getsy. Okay? That's one for sure that I would have grabbed right up. And remember, I said that we have to go to the Good Old Boys Coaching Network.
Right.
And the Good Old Boys Network extends to the college level. Now, I'm not good at college. I have my college gurus gave me actually a list of 5 guys that would have been a better choice than Getsy. And I was trying to go to my computer to see whether emails to see whether I could find that email. But I got a list of 5 college OCs that they felt not only had more experience and of course more connections across, the talent network, knew more guys. I mean, these are guys from Alabama. One is from Alabama. I mean, there were at least 5 guys from college, and I'm sorry, Tony, I don't have the names. But you can bet I'm going to pass those on to Jay Crump to find that. And of course, I keep saying Bieniemy.
Right.
I mean,
a lot of people want one.
And I don't know why he's been blackballed. Okay, but we're the kings of taking blackballed people. We don't care what the rest of
that is the Al Davis way. Absolutely right.
That nobody else wants to hire him. We do. Bieniemy is somebody. Pierce was listening to somebody. Now that's where I agree with you. Somebody told him, "Don't interview that guy."
Right.
And that's because they don't want you to have him, fool. I mean, I'm sorry, but once you step up to the head coach, You step up to
Coming
the
with the
head
heat,
coach.
ladies and gentlemen, the heat.
When you step up to the head coach level, there's a whole lot of people trying to knock you down.
That is true. Wow, there's just a lot of perspectives that I don't think any of us are thinking from those perspectives.
Well, I'm a woman, and I'm old, and I've been watching football for over 50 years, right? And for me, a lot of this is deja vu. Been there, done that. What's going on with Pierce, a brand new head coach? He's gonna have to take his knocks.
Yeah.
Ugly things about being a head coach, and one is that people will tell you not to get a guy, and that's what Al discovered early.
Right.
Just because they don't want you to have him. They don't want him, but they don't want you to have him.
Right. That's actually such a great point. Yes,
it happened with Willie Brown. He's sitting in Denver, right? and Denver is like benched him. And Al always wanted the guy. So as soon as he was being offered, Al went right to Denver. I got to get this guy. The story is that they were telling Al, you don't want this guy. He's a troublemaker. He's uncoachable.
Right.
All these things. Denver didn't want him, but they didn't want Al to have him.
Right.
Al just grabbed him up. They finally put him on the waiver wire, and Al just grabbed him up. And the rest is history. You have to know when people are giving you advice, and this goes to your conspiracy theory.
Right.
And I think that's what he's got to get good at. He's not good at it yet. Somebody convinced him not to go out and get the best OC he could find. I don't know who convinced him. And somebody's in his ear.
Yes.
And it could be Marvin Lewis, for all we know. And by the way, what is Joe Philbin doing?
Exactly. Or the other one, Coughlin. What are they doing? What are they doing that's allowing this mess?
But again, it's that old thing. Yeah, but if I've hurt his feelings now, I may need a consultant job when I'm 90. and nobody will hire me.
We'll keep that thing rolling.
I'm telling you, it's the Good Old Boys Network is looking out for itself. But I wouldn't be mad if Joe Philbin became the OC. I wouldn't be mad at all.
Nah, not after what we're looking at. I think it'd be a good change.
Does Pierce know it would be a good change? It's the real big question. Does Pierce know what Philbin brings to the table? Why do you have him on the sidelines when he's been coaching since 1984?
Right.
Trump, how many years is that?
More than I can count.
He got his first offensive coordinator job in 1997.
Wow.
At Iowa.
Wow.
And then when he moved to the NFL, because a position coach, by the way, an O-line coach.
Right.
And now, he's at 2007, he's the Packers offensive coordinator for 5 years. Brett Favre.
Right.
That's the kind of resume Pierce needed.
I agree. I totally agree. Either that or some fresh blood with a real system that, they can truly implement and tailor it around the team that's currently there until they can.
But see that Mr. Crump, that takes a level of intelligence and experience to actually craft a system around the skill set you have.
Right.
And baby, there were some geniuses. Starting with the great Paul Brown, going all the way forward. Dick Vermeil, Don Coryell.
Coryell was a big
talent. They took the talent that they had. And of course, from the great Don Coryell staff comes the great Joe Gibbs.
Right.
They took what they had, set up a system that all the players worked with. And they worked with players that were already there, and they crafted it together. And we have to remember, a lot of these guys weren't successful at first.
Nope.
But that's probably what they're thinking about Getsy. Well, you know, if we give him 5 more games, the light bulb will go on. What do you think out there? I mean, Getsy's getting a little more time to see whether this ZBS catches on.
Right. It's not gonna happen. You know,
He doesn't have ZBS guys. He doesn't have
Right.
the athletes.
That's the part I don't get. I don't get why they're doing stuff with people they don't have. Where is the conversation on that? Where is, you know, telling us, you know, we're figuring things out instead of, like, you know, leading us to believe they actually have some kind of plan that they're trying to put into place, and we know it's not. We know it's not.
But again, one of the things that with this team, and I've got to run, of course, my hour is almost up. But
Yep.
one of the things that we Raider Nation have to remember, we've got a brand new head coach. He's never done this before. This is uncharted territory. He's Christopher Columbus, brand new OC, who's just clueless. We've got everybody on the offensive staff is brand new. And unfortunately, that's the price you paid. Mark is making us pay because he thought McDaniels was the guy.
Right. No, you're right.
Oh, a lot of franchises have gone through just horrible head coaches that burn everything to the ground. But this is what we're faced with, and all the screaming and venting and calling for Pierce's head and calling for, you know, telling Mark sell the team. You know, all of this is the shouts of people who have no power.
Right. Of course. None whatsoever.
Are weak and have no power. Just stop. You know, telling us, wait a minute, this is the one I saw the other day. Mr. Crump, you're going to scream on this one. Tell us, some quarterback named Herndon, somebody that the Lions have.
Oh, Herndon Hooker.
Go out, yeah, we need to go out and get him. How many teams he been on? Like that's going to help him.
It's not.
Or the team. No, this team, these players need no more trauma. And that's what we're talking about when you're doing. That's why I'm glad at least they decided to stick with Minshew.
Right.
Stop taking them through a roller coaster ride. They need continuity. They need to get used to what they're trying to do. Right. And oh, by the way, I got nothing bad to say about defense, even though they sucked on Sunday.
We couldn't. We could have spent 2 hours tonight on this side.
I'm not talking. I got nothing bad to say about them.
Right.
They've been carrying their weight, and oh my God, the Kansas Christmas Day Kansas City game where we didn't score nothing.
Nothing.
The defense scored all the points. They should have saved up enough credit with y'all
to have a bad day.
And by the way, they're going to have at least 2 or 3 more.
Oh, absolutely.
This year, where there's going to be matchups that they're not going to be able to handle.
Just don't work well.
But on offense, I want y'all to watch those 5 and 6 man fronts. I want y'all to watch how Colton Miller now only blocks with his hands, not even his arms. And I want you to watch Devontae Adams. You want to know what's really wrong with this offense.
Right.
Players that we need to step up and play well are not.
They're not. No, you're right. You are absolutely right.
And oh, by the way, draft day, I put up a little meme, right? And it had Michael Myers' picture. That look on your face when they just picked your replacement. Wait a minute. People started arguing with me. Oh, no, we're going to run 2 tight end sets.
Right. 12 personnel.
Where's the 2 tight ends sets. Because see, I already knew in my mind, Getsy doesn't know how to run those.
No, he doesn't.
Why are y'all
Obvious.
telling me about 2 tight end sets when you don't even know whether your offensive coordinator is capable of even play designing it, much less running it and making a part? But I'm gonna tell you, we sure could use a 2 tight end set to help us with our blocking, couldn't we?
Yes, it would help tremendously. Tremendously.
But he can't do that, can he?
Nah.
No. He don't have a resume. I'm telling you, he can't do it. He just doesn't have the chops. And unfortunately, he may develop it. Somebody may help him out. Maybe send him something by email, a Venn diagram. But I'm just saying that this is the kind of thing we have to be patient about. We have to understand it's a process. Right. And I'm hoping at least we can watch. We come back. Can I come back on your show?
Are you kidding me? You have an open door policy in this place.
Let me come back.
Everybody's waiting for you. They can't wait.
Let me come back in a month, and we will see if any of the stuff we were talking about today has come to fruition. We've already given Getsy some suggestions, right?
We gave him plenty. We gave him plenty.
Like if you need short yardage, you're gonna have to go outside.
Exactly. None of this going up the middle with James. James gonna be back 5 yards before you even get the ball at this point.
And please, no more screens. And then
no more.
None of the ones you designed anyway. And please, if you could possibly tell Colton, set your feet first. And that means you're going to have to use that bad shoulder. I'm sorry. If the shoulder that bad, then you don't need to play. Same with Max. Your ankle that bad, you don't need to be
out there. Exactly. No, I agree.
Not helping me. Anyway,
at all.
We'll come back in a month and we'll talk about whether we ever see the 2 tight end set and whether Devontae ever catches a ball, a 30-yard plus pass and actually runs with it.
Right.
To be continued. They need to stop punking him, holding him, really. I mean, they are punking him so bad. I mean, the refs aren't even calling it.
It's bad.
I mean, they are mugging him and nothing is being done.
Right.
It's bad. Anyway, thanks to everybody out there, and I'll see you in a month. Thank you so much, Miss Peggy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Peggy. Shout out to Miss Peggy in the building.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Miss Peggy in the building. Hey. Nothing but love. She has an open door policy. When I tell you she knows football, I think y'all know she loves and knows football. That's why we do it. That's why we bring her on. Can't wait for a month. Please make sure you bring your questions, anything you have. She is by far one of the most knowledgeable Raider fans you are ever going to meet in your life. I can assure you of that. So, hey, shameless plug. Turf about to hop on something else. Yeah, so we all know the Ultimate Raider Fan 32 show is only an hour. So thank you. We appreciate you for showing up. Shameless plug. I will be on the show here in a second. I don't even know the name of it. That's a shame. That's it. But be on the lookout. I'm pretty sure y'all know who it is. Y'all gonna be watching anyways. All us Raider people stick together. So, hey, I can't wait till the next show, man. Tomorrow you got Chris and Spicy. You got my guy Rundown. That's Wednesday. Thursday you got Chris again. Cheeto was yesterday. Friday, ladies and gentlemen, all you content creators, people that don't mind getting on the camera, Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. It is the new Turf and Rundown show with a complete different format. We want everybody to come up. We can get 10 people at a time on the panel. I'd love to have all 10 spots filled for the whole show. So, yeah, if you got time on Friday night, you're trying to, stay in the house and get ready for Saturday morning football, come check out the Turf and Rundown show. Get yourself prepared to be on camera. Be out there and let the world know how you talk that Raider talk. So, with that being said, T Crump is out. Peace. I should say Turf, huh? But she been calling me Mr. Crump all night. So, and y'all know I still have this awkward, I don't know how to end my stuff. So, but don't worry, we get there. That's the wrong one.
Let's go, baby. We all the way on the fourth row, baby. You look good in that silver and black. Talk about the game, so I'll be handing out cards and everything. I'll be at every Raider game. So.